Do we have it? Wait, are we sitting?
Yeah.
Is that how we want to be sitting? Do we want the lights on?
No.
No? Okay. Alright, hi, we're going to do a really, really, really spoilery discussion. It's mostly just our discussion of Infinity War. So if you don't like spoilers, then you can go away until you've seen it, and then you can come back. Okay, I'll give you how long should we
5
give it?
seconds.
5 seconds? Okay, ready, go. Is that 5 seconds?
Yeah.
I didn't count.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so what was the first thing I said? I said, this is the least fun I've had in a movie since Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, but that's not true. I think, I had more fun in Rogue One until I realized that everyone was going to die. And then I was like, this is a Star... Well, I think maybe what was worse about that was that I wasn't braced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all knew that it was... Yeah,
I was like in Rogue One, we were like, we knew we hadn't heard of the people, like, but we, so we're like, well, we thought maybe they would go off and have other adventures and just not be in the original trilogy.
You start to...
We didn't think that...
after it's in storytelling, you see how, like, in those movies, you'll find that it's like, if too many characters start to die, then you're like, okay, it's everybody, and then you get braced.
Do you just sort of like glaze over?
Because in movies where everyone doesn't die, they don't kill more than 2 characters.
That's true, and then they usually do it like surprisingly,
right?
Like when they kill, and you're like, no,
2 characters at maximum.
Well, like, or you think you get to the end of it. I've heard that you get to the end of it, and you're like, we won, or whatever, and at the last minute, the bad guy comes and goes, and then you're like,
yeah,
and then it's like horrid.
But that does not happen in this movie, so
I'm traumatized, you guys. I sat, like, I was like comatose. I was sitting there in the theater going, and being very crabby. Like, I thought Tony Stark was gonna, like, see, and I didn't know that, I was like, Tony, see, because I love Tony, he was my first, he got me into Marvel, so, what was the first, superhero that you really liked?
I like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, but, like, a different Spider-Man.
I like the original Spider-Man.
That's what I mean. The original Spider-Man. Yeah. But I mean, like, in this, like, great, huge...
I actually haven't had a ultimate favorite.
No, okay, so who is your favorite?
I don't have one.
I think you don't have one.
It depends on my mood. I kind of like Doctor Strange because I like the idea that he's a normal person who learns a skill.
Right.
And becomes extraordinary.
Although
that's because for me that's a little bit more accessible than somebody who is just gifted something.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. And
or the kind of cliche, well, I have $1 bazillion and I'm a genius. It's like, well, I'm neither of those things, so it's a bit harder to relate to that. But but somebody who
he's a genius, but that's it.
Who works really hard and achieves something cool.
He studied his way into superhero-dom.
Yes.
Literally with books.
Mm-hmm. And
like nobody else did
and
that.
Is actually more capable than a lot of them.
He has, well, see, that was amazing. Actually, okay, here's the weird thing that I thought. He must have been, like, really, really practicing.
Yeah, a lot.
Which makes no sense. Like, it's like, when did you have time to do this? Because he's, like, a super awesome sorcerer now. Like, with splitting himself and all these things, and I don't know.
There was obviously a gap of time between Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange's final scene. The scene.
I'm so glad they got rid of those gloves, by the way.
Right, those gloves were stupid.
God.
But
yellow gloves.
They also completely got rid of the way that he was doing things in Ragnarok. In Ragnarok,
didn't see that one.
They turned Doctor Strange into a very, very Harry Potter-ish wizard.
Yes, I heard that, and I heard that was. Yeah. I thought that was very stupid.
It was very jolting because it was like suddenly he can do magic without even moving his hands.
Well, and like conjuring things.
Yeah, he was
like, here, have a beer.
Well, he was doing. Yeah, he was doing
went to sleep.
Transfiguration without doing anything. Cause, like,
without doing
converting the tea into beer. He was doing... I don't know, it'd be... I don't know.
I'm glad they went back to what
called,
he's supposed
refilling
to be.
his drink and just
by
seeing the future.
Using the Force.
Well, seeing the future just by touching hands is like, so now you're a psychic. It's like, when did that happen?
No. And
it's
that's not
you have
in
to
his
see,
thing.
and so they basically ignored all that and returned him to what he normally is, which is he has to use actual powers in order to do that. So, like, to see into the future, he has to sit there and do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't just come to him
like,
because he
it's
touches
work.
someone.
Everything that's cool about Doctor Strange is, I almost said Mr. Strange. Doctor Strange is that he has to do work. And go away. I don't know why she thinks she needs to be awake right now.
She's telling us.
Oh, but anyway, like, okay, so the yellow gloves went away, but also so did Wanda's accent.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
I kind of liked her accent, but yeah, and it just went away. Mm-hmm. And I guess we're supposed to assume that it like smoothed out over 2 years, but I've never met someone whose accent completely disappears like that, or why she would want to get rid of it.
Especially if they lived in Scotland the entire time.
Yeah, that's not the accent she would have picked up. She
would
not have picked up an American accent.
You go from
except from Viz, I guess.
Like a Slavic accent.
Yeah, like a really thick one.
And then you move to Scotland
and then you speak like an American?
Yeah.
And he has a British accent.
My guess is that they focus grouped it away.
I don't like it. I
that
like her accent.
They had a focus group and people said I would like her more if she had an American accent.
Also,
so they said okay.
Also, Black Widow, her hair went to blonde for no reason. Because they're supposed to be undercover, yeah, right. Like, as if we don't recognize her. But I really don't like it. I think it washes her out. It washed her out.
It also, I think what it did was it's...
Well, but, like, Wanda now had red hair. So I was... Right. I think maybe they were trying to be like too many red-haired women, and so they wanted to make... But see, I think they should have made Wanda's hair lighter then, and it's like... Or darker. Maybe they should have made Wanda's hair like this, and then left Black Widow with her red hair.
It's also that giving her the blonde hair, that white blonde hair, it ages her look and makes her feel... For me, like, she was not a sexy character in this.
Wanda?
Black Widow.
Oh, no.
Her sexiness was all gone.
Yeah.
It's like she was up to the neck the entire time.
Well, here's the second. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, so anyway, they hadn't... she isn't
She was zipped up.
Yeah, well, she's up to the throat.
Yeah,
and not to say that... I'm not saying, like, they've made her unattractive, but what they've done is she's utilitarian... like you should be.
That's the word.
And I'm saying she's not purposefully sexy.
Which I think is cool because all of the women of Wakanda are like they're not. Their fronts aren't hanging out.
Nope.
So why should hers be? Right. Like I think it would be like too ridiculous. Mm-hmm. You know, like to have all these warrior women who are wearing armor and then Black Widow's thing is slowly coming unzipped like in the other one. And it's like, what? You have to be protected. You have to fight.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess I never, in this movie, I never saw a camera angle or a shot that was trying to make me look at something. Like an advertisement, like saying, ooh, look, she's sexy.
Look at her butt. No, they didn't have time for that. No. It was like, that was the most all over the place movie. Oh my gosh.
But there's time for that there is time for that in fights all the time.
Yeah.
They did it in Iron Man 2 all the time. Like she'd beat somebody up and then land and it's like, I'm bent over so you can see
actually,
my
I
chest.
literally think they were saving time. Because there was no landing scene. There was no landing. There was like, and over here, and constant. It's constant. Mm-hmm. And they were like shaking the camera. That was something else that was new, I noticed. During the fight scenes, and before it was like, they were very focused and I could keep my head still. And then with these in the battlefield, it was shook up.
And I actually liked it because it was chaotic.
It felt real and I could still see what was going on.
Right.
Because like in some of them...
You could see just enough. And I also liked how when they were fighting...
No, go away. Here, just a second. Okay, well, I was actually very pleased with Thor's arc in this. He finally felt like he should
was Thor
feel.
again. Yeah.
He did say a couple stupid lines. Like, he used some vernacular that I still think he wouldn't use. But then he went right back to his, like, ancient way of talking. And I was like, Thor!
Yeah.
It had been so long since I actually heard you talk like yourself.
Right. And
So-
it was also interesting that, like, he used awesome in the old way.
In the old way, it is very awesome. Like, it's awesome. Which it is. Like, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then he literally thought that, like, the Guardians were like a breed of people called morons. Which I kind of like that. I think they kind of are.
Mm-hmm.
Morons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because he said, he's like, I'm going to go with you and...
You morons.
And you morons.
Bye, morons. Yeah. Like, that's cool. I like
Mhm.
that. It's like something he would think. Because
Yeah.
he's just on the fly here. He's just trying to learn.
He's just self-confident and loose enough that he doesn't care if
Well,
he
like,
actually
why would
is
he
not,
care?
He's actually not caring if they aren't the morons, but
And
he'll just call
actually,
them that anyway.
for a second, like, when he was describing to Rocket what he was going to do,
Mm-hmm.
I am this many years old, what, 1500?
Yeah.
And I'm going to blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, I got these, like, Viking feelings. And that's the first time that I've ever gotten Viking feelings from him.
Right.
Like, I felt like somebody was gonna, like, start quoting Beowulf, you know,
Yeah.
and I was ready for it. Because, and he sold it.
Right.
He sold that. Anybody else saying it, I was like, yeah, right.
Mhm.
And then when he's like, a pirate had a baby with an angel, I was like, well, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
basically Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
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 But,
Why
and
are his eye is a different color now?
What?
It's like red. The new eye is like red or brown or
Yeah,
something.
it was something else.
At first I thought it was blue when he held it up. I thought it was another blue eye.
Mhm.
But ow! Here, let me stick that in and it'll ram through and connect your nerves.
I
That
guess.
won't be a problem.
Yeah.
He's like,
I did think that was funny where he's like, I don't think
this is working.
'Cause it was
Everything
going-
looks dark.
Yeah. But,
That was creepy looking.
yeah. Where it was sliding around. I like Stormbreaker better than Mjolnir.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yes.
That is the cool thing.
Yes. And I liked how...
Well, because it can actually, like, kill you instead of just squish you.
Ponk.
Yeah.
Or, well, like when he was fighting Skrulls and things, I always thought it was a mistake with Mjolnir that it made a high-pitched clanky noise when it hit things.
And that it was rather
like,
small.
Hammers don't go
Clink.
high-pitched clank when they hit flesh.
No.
They go... poof. Yeah, it would
Squish.
make a deep thud noise. And so, like, even if, like,
What
Mjolnir...
is this new thingy called?
Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker.
And
I think they should have used the Norse word for that, whatever that is.
I think it's too hard to say.
I don't care. They should. Mjolnir was a mouthful for everybody. We learned it
Yeah, but they just call it Thor's hammer, too.
because storm anyway is like Strom,
Yeah.
so it'd be something like Strombroker,
Well,
and I would
it's
say
from-
that.
It's from the comics, and incidentally, by not remaking Mjolnir, they actually have eliminated the possibility of Jane becoming Thor. So, yeah, as far as the movies go,
I am okay with that.
right? Well, unless giant Peter Dinklage dwarf
No.
kept the
See,
mold for it.
what was that? See, I was thinking of that. I'm like, it's cool, but it's a giant dwarf,
It's a giant dwarf. I think it's because they figured that...
and he's from Game of Thrones.
Right. Well, they
He's a
figured
dwarf.
that it wouldn't look right for him to be running such giant machinery.
I was kind of sad about that.
Yeah.
Because, like, giant machinery. It was so unromantic. I mean,
But-
I guess
but
I
in
have
a
in
way-
my mind, I have in my mind the huge forges in,
I think it would
where
cause...
did the word just go?
The Hobbit.
The mountain, what's it called?
Erebor.
Erebor! Right, see, so, like, those awesome dragon-lit forges, that's what I was waiting for, something like that, and then instead we have, like, Star Trek.
But it was forged from a sun.
No, that was like a machine deal.
It was a sun. He said it was a neutron star.
But it's not there, it's like,
It was inside
it's
it.
pretend.
They built a thingy around it.
Well, how come it was
It's a
all dark?
It's a focuser. He said it was dead. They brought it back
You can't do that.
by spinning the
What?
thingies.
But
I
it
don't
was
know
like-
how it works.
Uh,
If you're gonna forge things with it, that's some freaky metal.
Right, but why is it
that thing's
dying?
made of? If you have to heat a star If you have to basically put a magnifying glass in front of a star that's only about a mile away,
and
in order
Thor's
to
face cooked, but not his clothes.
right, even though he was turned away from it,
like Superman.
He
should have had like a big butt, like he's all burned out.
Well,
that's not dignified.
Nope. Well, and see, they took the high road, didn't they?
Or he's got super clothes.
Because if that had been in Ragnarok, it would have been his butt. So
his butt would have been hanging out through the whole last battle.
Yes.
But
the one thing that does make me wonder is like I guess the answer could be that there's a lot of magic involved, but I really did like that it felt like something from an old epic, that something from one of the heroes gets to
make
the handle.
Yeah, that felt
it's like, where's the handle? And it's like they customized it where it's Groot.
It's like
Groot makes the handle.
like it's a living thing.
Right.
Like it's
the only thing that I wondered is like there must be some magic that got infused into it, because otherwise, if Thanos can just go snap Groot's arms, then he should be able to. You could. Anytime Thor hits something with that, it should snap off because he's hitting it so hard.
So I think that it needed that handle. The magic in that headpiece.
Well, it needed an official handle. So what I'm saying is that it became part of it and is infused with the same strength of magic. So it's not just a really heavy piece of metal with Groot's arm on it anymore.
Well, like Mjolnir, it had a spirit. It was almost a being.
Which is why it was infused with that spell.
What spell? I don't remember.
Well, I just noticed an interesting
Were there
thing.
runes on that thing?
No, it was a circular design, and actually looking back on it, it reminds me of stuff that Doctor Strange is doing.
Oh.
It was remember the mold had a series of rings on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised for a second because he smashed it all up, and I was like, wait a minute, I thought that was the thing.
No, he broke the mold.
But the axe was on the inside, so that's the magic that got put into it.
Really cool, really fast.
It did.
Yeah, really fast.
Well, I guess
normally you have to leave it alone in there for a while.
What he was doing is like he had to have the lens open the entire as long as he possibly could.
Just for the melting.
Well, apparently not.
Yes.
Apparently, it's that metal, whatever it is, cools real fast.
Well, maybe.
If you think about it, it would kind of have to.
But it would be really brittle.
If it's a metal that's capable of generating and touching lightning constantly and doesn't even get hot.
Well, it's magical.
It cools down really fast.
It's magical.
Really fast. Cool.
Or it likes lightning.
It is lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, it's a channel for Thor's power.
Right.
That's what it is. Because if it had been somebody else, then it would be their power.
It also brings you back to life.
That's nice.
Twice.
And it heals your burns.
Yes. See, and
it gives him his armor.
See, Ragnarok didn't really make a lot of sense.
I'm so glad he had actual, like, his armor back.
Yes, and a cape and all that stuff.
A cape.
Well, because, like, for, in Ragnarok, Odin said the hammer was meaningless, basically.
He did?
Well, he said...
it's because it's inside of you.
Yeah.
Which, I knew that.
The ability to zap.
I knew that. I didn't see that.
But obviously the hammer is a little bit important if you can get your neck snapped, and then when you touch the handle, then
it's
again.
like it.
So the hammer does something.
Right.
And this, then by extension, Stormbreaker does something. Right.
It connects to something inside of you.
But I'm just saying it can also bring you back to life.
Because Thor's, it connects to... See, it's really... I mean, I think it connects to my theory about heart magic, my thing. That, because it, like, in Thor's hand, you would see that the lightning was popping between his fingers when that thing got close to him.
Right.
So I think it's like this magnifier of what's inside. A channel and a magnifier.
Right.
And also, apparently unlocks that magical thing that allows him to put his armor on.
Right.
And, okay, so if we're talking about Thor, then we have to talk about Loki.
Yep. And my theory is, if you're right, they gave him as, that was a redemption.
Yep.
Because he called himself Odinson.
He named his names.
But except he named his true names. He didn't claim Asgard. he claimed Jotunheim.
Jotunheim. So he came all together as a whole human being.
Right.
Human being.
Yeah.
A whole person, accepting of both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And then dying a sacrificial death to save his brother. Although I do think it was pathetic.
What?
That he couldn't fight. Like, they have so underpowered him that he is weaker than any of the Avengers.
Right.
Like, every single other Avenger at least punched Thanos in the face. At least got one punch. Everybody got one punch, but not Loki.
You got pretty close to his carotid.
No, so what? There were lots of people that did that. Gamora actually did it.
To a hologram.
So what? She did it. You know.
Yeah.
She was so fast. She got him, and then she got him here too. And he's like, oh, and Loki's like,
yeah.
Oh no! Like, he's got nothing in his other hand. Nothing.
He only has one knife.
So what? No, but come on. You know he's got something else.
Well, so
I mean, that couldn't have been an illusion.
It's also interesting how it's like, from a writing perspective, Loki said a couple things that don't make sense. Like
what?
Well, like he's saying it makes it sound, it's like there is no reason to there's literally no reason at all to say the sun will shine upon us again one day. At that moment,
it was just
because
to give Thanos the
I know, but you
opening.
you are freaking losing.
Right
there. You are all dead. There's no reason to say that. Because you have no method of escape, and you're about to hand over the nuclear bomb to the bad guy.
I think he wasn't though.
And so, well, but
he had that plan
it's
about
like
the
sun
Hulk.
will shine upon us again because I'm gonna try to stab him in the neck. Is also not a good
he wasn't
plan.
that. He had the Hulk first.
Yeah.
He said we have a Hulk, and so he wasn't going to give it to him.
Right.
He was distracting, and he was actually just trying to give Thor a little bit of hope, and to get Thanos monologuing. I
was also thinking, it's like he was kind of right. It's like there's, I don't know why. I still can't quite figure out why Doctor Strange didn't use the Time Stone a little bit more. I mean that.
Well, now's the time. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, that thing is capable of you open it up and then you just go, yep, you're 1,000 years old. He can do it at whatever he points at.
Yeah, right.
He can turn Thanos into a baby. He could do it. I mean, like, when instead...
He would have had to keep twisting for a long time. Because how old is he?
I don't know.
I mean...
But he can do things, like, he was able to make
the apple. I know.
Zip,
so he's
zip.
It's like scrolling on your phone.
Well, so what it means is that instead of Doctor Strange being the distraction man and then having them drop something on him, I think they should have had somebody else up there, and then see, like, that. I also, it's like there's they were trying to do it to do like to increase suspense. What was it? 1,345,025 to 1.
Oh,
those were their odds.
I don't know.
Well, it's like there would actually be a lot more where you'd win because there's the universe in which you stepped slightly to the left when you were sprinting towards him,
right?
Instead of right there. So I mean, like, there's so many universes in which there was just a tiny little detail that's inconsequential that caused you to win. So.
Right. Well,
and there would actually
be different people.
It's like it's like if you think about it, like how many? I mean, like, yeah, I think it. Well, I guess what they could say is they said, "How many did you see?"
Yeah, that's how
so he didn't look at all of them.
No way. He was looking for the.
He was searching for
the one to win.
So, which means that there might have been 40 more ways to win if he had just kept looking.
But the way that he saw involves Tony clearly.
Well, what I saw was that the way everything happened exactly as he wanted.
Right.
Actually.
As Doctor Strange had.
Yes.
Yes, but Tony had to live.
But I mean, I'm just saying is like he knew at that moment if they were going to win, Thanos is going to stab Tony, and then he's going to offer the Time Stone and give it to him, and then be erased.
Right.
It's like that is the only. I told you this in the theater.
What? I wasn't listening.
I looked at you, said when he was going to hand it over, and I said, "This is the only way they win."
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and so that's
because Doctor Strange was the only one who was calm about this.
Right, and
I mean, it was like he was expecting it.
Yeah.
And everybody else was like, "Ugh!" And he was just like...
What I can say
fine.
is, it's like, it's like I can see, like, another plan. It's a little too... The future that he saw didn't require... I mean, it had room for a lot of improvement. It's like, what I can say is, the entire universe has Peter Quill to blame.
Oh my gosh, he's fired.
He's absolutely fired. It's like he killed your girlfriend, and so you're going to
hit
punch him in the face, but actually he punched Mantis in the hand.
Right.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, he hit her in the hand, and she went out.
So when we get him back, he's fired.
Yeah.
He is out of here. He.
Yeah. When they resurrect him,
I am surprised that the other Avengers didn't the other people with him didn't just slap him in silly. Yeah.
No. I just mean I'm surprised they didn't kill him outright there.
Oh my gosh.
As soon as if you're in that kind of combat situation, plus with somebody that you've only met about 3 hours ago.
Here's good in close.
If he is about, you can tell he's about to completely screw up the plan. You tie him up, and if he resists, you knock him out.
Well, they didn't have any people to do that. Everyone else was occupied.
Spider-Man could go.
No, he was pulling. Remember, he was
just
pulling.
A second.
He was holding on and pulling. Everyone was literally tied up, and Peter should have been over there trying to pull the gauntlet off. Mm-hmm. I mean, kick his butt after it's pulled off.
Or how about this? Take that plasma pistol and just shoot him in the bicep until his arm comes off.
Well, but they were getting it off. They were getting it off.
I know, but I'm just saying
that might wake him up.
You can help.
That might wake him up. Pull it off. If they had one more person helping, it might have come off.
They're also not paying attention to the fact that it's like, you've got him asleep and right in front of you. He is killable by physical means.
Cut his head off.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's what he said.
Find a pointy thing.
Right.
And shove it into his brain.
Well, but see, Peter could have done that.
Yeah.
But he
Instead
was
of punching him in the face,
he's always struck me as the dumbest out of all these heroes.
Yes.
Which is the dumbest.
Which is why no one listens to him.
Dumber than Drax. I think,
Drax isn't dumb, he's blunt.
Right.
He's not dumb.
Was dumb sometimes.
Yeah. I think he just came across that way because they had him say dumb things.
But I am invisible. I am convinced I am invisible. It's like, well, you're not.
No, what that is that's being bored.
I guess.
That's being bored on a ship.
Well, see, and that was actually that moment between Peter and Gamora.
I was waiting for them to ruin it, and then they did.
And they did. That was the first time I've ever felt anything for Guardians of the Galaxy characters.
Mm-hmm. And then they ruined it.
I did not that was the first time that I watched, and I was like, look, real. Mm-hmm. Like, real emotions, real people. Mm-hmm. And then... I mean, they didn't immediately ruin it.
They gave it about 5 seconds.
I could still enjoy it, and if I would fast forward, I could after the part, I would still feel good about it. But because it's Guardians of the Galaxy, they had to have some stupid thing after it, and I was like, well, okay.
Well, and it's funny that they're doing that so much that it's a pattern that now it would actually be a surprise.
Well, it's cliche.
It'd be a surprise if they didn't do it.
Yeah, it's cliche to interrupt and say something
now
dumb.
It was it became cliche to just end the scene there. It's like you would always expect to end the scene there. And so then Marvel said, well, let's avoid the cliche by always having a joke every time that you have something serious and you think it's just going to do a nice crossfade.
Well, the first time I saw that was in Iron Man.
Yeah, and so then... Now they've done it so much that they have become the cliche. So
we're waiting for it. We're waiting for the stupid one-liner.
Now it'll be a surprise when they don't do it.
Well, and in certain situations... with Thor, they never did that.
No.
Because it's a serious story.
Right.
Until Ragnarok. But they didn't have any romance in that.
Right.
But, Guardians of the Galaxy makes everything... But at least in Iron Man, they let us have one good kiss, and then they sort of had a conversation, and then, and then the roadie was commenting. So, it felt sort of funny, because we felt like we had our moment.
Right.
It was fine, and then it was like.
Well, and this one gave it.
Well, and you wanted to know that he was okay.
This
too.
one they gave it much.
They
longer.
gave it longer than they would have
usually.
if it had been a Guardians of the Galaxy moment.
Mm-hmm.
If it had happened in Guardians of the Galaxy, that conversation actually would never have happened.
No.
I don't know what their first kiss would have been, but it wouldn't have been that.
Right, and so that's why it's like what I've got to say is that the Russo brothers and whoever wrote this script,
they should probably do the rest of them.
They are.
Are they? The rest of them?
All the rest of what?
Yeah, all the rest of Marvel movies. They should just do them.
No, too busy. They overlap too much.
Ugh.
But they are doing the next Avengers as well.
Well, it's too bad that they didn't do the Thor movies.
They can only be in so many places at once.
Well, it's that they didn't give it priority. But
they're too busy doing Civil War.
It is so to me, it is so tragic that it took this long to get back to how Thor and Loki actually talk,
mm-hmm.
how they are, how they think, and what they actually are in their potential.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Loki's powers.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they used his slickness, absolutely perfectly. Mm-hmm. Whatever power he has of deception, they used it all. He was slick talker and everything like that, and then he pulled a trick and pulled the Hulk in there, and then he tried another trick, which was kind of dumb because, why would you trust him after he threw the Hulk at you?
Right.
But and
that's the thing is Thanos is all about loyalty to himself.
Well, and he doesn't care.
So,
he's going to kill them all anyway.
I know, but what I'm saying is that all of his people are slavishly devoted to him.
Well, and also
he would never let anyone close to him who had just sicked the Hulk on him.
Well, and who had failed him earlier.
Right. And
so, also, he doesn't seem to like lying.
No. It was interesting in that it's funny that they took this long to try to make him interesting.
Hmm? Oh, I know.
Well, because it's like him.
He was just this big purple
guy who sits in the chair.
I was not scared of him before at all.
With bad special effects.
Oh, bad.
He is much less purple in this one.
Yeah, thank goodness. He still has a great big chin, but at least it feels like.
But it looks like skin.
Yeah, just a second. Yeah, it looks like skin, but he looked real. Why didn't they have an actress play that part with the horns?
I didn't understand that. It's like you can tell. She
is so fake.
Yeah, you can tell that's a mocap.
I mean, they didn't even do her as good as Gollum.
No.
She looks bad.
Well, why
she
would
looks like a CG. So put an actress there. What does she have to do that was harder than what Black Widow was doing?
Nothing. In fact, they did have an actress there. I actually was having trouble figuring out if that was a girl or not.
Well, she had a robotic sounding voice.
Right.
It was almost like she was supposed to be using a translator.
Well, it's like she looked like a very feminine man. Because
but she had
it reminded me
female anatomy.
Yeah, but they didn't show that very much. They were mostly focused on the face.
Well, that was a girl.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, but I don't understand that. I don't
know.
It's
the sort of thing where if she looked,
she
had an elvish kind of face where
you can do that. You can achieve that with makeup.
I know. No, what I'm saying is that she looked a bit like an elvish man.
But she didn't sound like a man.
Right. Well, it's hard to tell. It was a little bit hard to tell. But
use a person.
Yeah,
even if it is a
so that's why I think
guy.
Use a person, and it makes everything a lot more clear.
That jarred me out every time I looked at her. It pulled me out of the story because I was like, that is a fake thing.
There was something about the eyes,
and her mouth didn't work right.
Right, they haven't quite gotten that yet.
Mouths don't work.
Thanos is okay though. See,
but
it's funny.
They mocapped the heck out of him. You
Yeah.
know they did his mouth and everything.
Mouths. I mean, CG characters work better when they don't look human, because I think what it is we see people's faces all the time.
We know what they're
and so we know what they're supposed to look like down to the subconscious level,
programmed
where we can tell if
that.
somebody's lips aren't real.
Yeah.
If they
just move, like Superman.
Yeah, if they move
Superman's fake mouth.
If they move just a little bit wrong, we go, that's fake.
Right.
But if you take Squidward.
Squidward.
That was the best nickname. But if you take him...
That guy was icky, though.
Yeah. If you take him, it's like, well, I've never seen one of those.
Right.
So...
He looked more real than that girl. That's
because he doesn't look
well, no, I mean
human. He had a mouth.
Surface.
He had a mouth and eyes, but he had like this kind of
He had, like, hair
twisty up and hair in weird places, and so he didn't. I was glad that he died so quick because there is nothing worse than a preachy villain.
Oh!
It's like, just admit that you want everybody to die horrible deaths and just
stop
get
talking.
over it.
Well,
stop trying to make me convert to your religion.
Yeah, because you're just going to kill me anyway.
Right.
Actually, and when I was watching, like, Doctor Strange hang there and getting poked with needles, I was like, I'm about at my threshold. I don't think I can stand this. I'm like, you killed my one British dude, and if you kill my other British dude with needles, I'm walking out of this theater right now.
Yeah, they weren't going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't. See, that doesn't follow the pattern.
I didn't trust them.
That does. Why not? That was a very well-crafted story. That worked.
I hadn't watched it all yet.
But
I had only gotten to that part.
It follows convention.
And I knew that people were going to die.
A hero never dies from his torturer when there are other heroes in the room.
Yeah, well, he could be fatally wounded. And they still rescue him, but he's fatally wounded, and then they could be like, he's like, here, I give you this thing, here's the plan. That could have happened.
That would be dumb and everyone would hate it.
Yeah, so when has stopped anybody from doing
the Rotten Tomatoes score was too high.
Oh, like they know. They called the Black Panther the best movie of all time ever.
Well, this one just took the throne.
That's full of crap. Well, this is a better movie than Black Panther. I can tell you that right now. I smile. Never mind.
Yeah. I thought it was one funny thing was when you start talking battle strategy in the climax, because it's like
that didn't work very well.
No.
That sucked.
Well, but the other thing that you start to wonder is like,
open the shield.
Well,
don't we have anything that can shoot out?
And I also wonder is like, don't you have a country?
No.
Right?
No, they just have the capital.
But they have
and they only care about people in the capital.
No, but they have a whole country.
Yeah.
How is their army 500 people?
Those are just like the royal awesome people.
They're the only people who can fight?
They're the ones that get there fast enough.
They had like weeks.
5 minutes.
No, they were already there.
Who?
They were talking about them as like, we've got these people to come and these people to come and all kinds of people to come. But then
yep, they've only got 500 people.
They only had 500 people in their army.
And some big guns.
That's less than Liechtenstein.
Wakanda is this big.
I mean, but it's like, where are all the people in Wakanda?
They got chewed up in those mowers.
No.
They didn't?
No, I'm talking about in that skyscraper-filled city back there. That's a city that's about the size of Manhattan. Manhattan has 8 million people in it. What I'm wondering is, why is that only 500 of the 8 million people are capable of fighting?
I don't know.
I mean, seriously. Just say, hey, everybody.
Come on, let's go.
Here are guns. Stand on top of the skyscrapers if you are too scared to get that close. Like, here's a scope. And just kind of just shoot in that area over there.
Oh, that reminds me. I thought it was so cool that Bucky was using a machine gun.
Yeah.
It was like, because he was like, this is a gun.
Little pistol.
I'm not going, no, not like a laser gun.
Right.
You know, he's using a gun, which is because he's awesome and old fashioned. Like he and yes, that's why.
I guess you're old fashioned if you use a non-laser.
Not gun. A laser, right? Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's a real gun.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm not using that. Did you break my thing?
Yeah.
You broke my. I let you play with something and you snap it in half.
It snapped itself.
Yeah, it snapped itself in half.
All I did was squeeze it back and forth and it would snap. Okay.
Anyway. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that. Perhaps it's to avoid a Troy-like situation where there's so many ships that you're like, we're invading America. But
I remember that.
But
it's like, what? It would have taken you 1,000 years to build all those ships.
Right. But it's like I thought like
either that or they're really little and they have 3 people.
As far as the country of Wakanda goes, that's not very many people.
No.
There should be. I mean, I think that's a big fail on their part.
Yeah.
As a country, it's like, this is our standing army.
Well, and
also you're going to use medieval battle tactics.
Yeah, let's all stand in a row.
Stand in phalanxes, not even phalanxes, just stand in rows and then run at them.
Why
It's
run?
Like, why do you
Just put up the barrier and shoot from behind it. Make trenches.
What I'm saying is that
Mines.
without any of the advanced sci-fi technology that the Marvel Universe has, the U.S. military could have taken out that entire force.
I mean, they need
easily.
aircraft. Why don't they have aircraft?
Yeah.
That are like bombing, like from way high, like going and just dropping bombs, like the heck.
Well, and do you know how many?
Because we've only got outside people doing that.
You also know how
like
many.
War Machine was doing that.
How many countries would have been scrambling fighters at that moment?
Oh, everybody.
If you saw 30 ships,
maybe they were
just descend from outer space, and they've been the Earth has been invaded before.
Yeah.
So they would be there.
Well, like because our aircraft can get there pretty
very
quickly.
Fast
from other bases, not from us. But
they would also assume at that point it's like, okay, I guess they know Wakanda's a big deal.
Yeah,
country.
they do.
Know, but. So that would actually
the satellite
increase,
would have been picking it up.
That would increase people's response times.
He can call people.
Yeah.
You know, like the King of Wakanda can be like, "Hey, world leaders." He's got like a "Hey, world leaders" button.
He should.
They can probably send it the distress signal to everyone on the planet, like,
another
"Hey, being invaded by aliens."
Another thought that I had was kind of like I guess it's like that Wakanda is a country that's not prepared for war because it's like you're.
But they have like kickbutt people.
I know, but you're for outside war. They're prepared for a war with themselves.
Oh, true.
But
fighting each other.
Yeah, but not with not against outside forces because they've like her lab is on top of a skyscraper.
Yeah, very easy target.
Bad place.
Yeah.
For if you're getting attacked.
It should be under the ground.
She should have been in an underground bunker that you can't find.
Totally secret. Mm-hmm. With like a maze of booby traps to get to.
Yeah. And just say, I am in this underground bunker and there's a maze around it.
Actually, not under the city. It should be like under the mountains, like over there.
Right. So, I mean,
so that even if you blew up the city, you wouldn't get her.
Right. So, yeah, it's like if I were there, I'd say transfer Vision to the underground bunker and work on him.
That was crappy, by the way. I thought that sucked.
What?
Killing him twice.
Yeah.
Like, one way he died gracefully. The other way...
He got his brains
ripped Thanos ripped his brain out. And threw him.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my favorite characters. I really like him. I've always liked Jarvis. Actually, I always wanted to call him Jarvis.
That's why...
I wanted to call him Jarvis.
That's
because
why...
he's been there from the beginning, and I like him.
But that is why they brought him back, though.
What?
Because if he's been blown to little bits, then they can't have him in the next part. Because...
Is he in the next part?
I think he is.
I don't know.
That's the only reason to have his body.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do a C-3PO on him. And
yeah. Shuri is magic level science, so...
If she cares enough. Or if she didn't disappear. We don't know.
I don't know if they would have shown her. She's too popular.
They would have shown her dying?
Yes. They showed everybody
else.
She's
more popular than the king?
Yes. No, I just meant as far as audiences. They showed all of the main characters who have parts with last names. You know, the last name characters.
Last names.
Yeah.
If you don't have a last
name, then you're dead. But yeah, but yeah. So they've got.
And even if you do.
Yeah.
Oh, well, like what I was gonna say. What I was saying earlier was, if he was really taking out 50%.
It should have been a lot more equal.
It should not have been as many people as we know.
Right.
But I guess it could be that he was mad at them.
Right. So he said 50% of the overall population.
Plus, every Avenger that punched me.
But I'm going to take, of that 50%, I'm going to concentrate it on these people.
Well, it was more than that.
Right. Well, no, I'm just saying, like, here's all the people in the world, here's a list.
I mean, like...
But
like
I want this person, this person, this person, so just erase these random people.
Well, like, Cap didn't die because clearly Thanos respected him. You could see that in a second. Like, he was just like, oh my gosh, this guy's cool. Like, Thanos, in his twisted way, thought that Cap, just by looking in his eyes, thought that he was cool, so he wasn't going to die.
Mm-hmm. But
he didn't give a flip about Bucky.
Right.
And he like clearly didn't like anybody in Guardians of the Galaxy. He like killed
he
them
wiped
all.
them all.
He wiped them out.
Right.
And he didn't kill Nebula because she's his only daughter left.
Right.
And then Tony, he promised not to kill him, but everybody else.
Right.
Who had almost pulled the gauntlet off dead.
Right.
And then I don't think he... Did he... He never even saw Natasha, did he?
Who?
Thanos.
Oh, you mean Black Widow?
Yeah.
No, he never saw her. No, yeah, he did. She ran at him and he went blew out. Oh, yeah, he trapped her under rocks.
Oh, yeah, just that one time.
How
But
did
not
she get
like...
out of that?
Huh? He just must have let go.
Yeah.
Well, because Bruce got out of the mountain.
That's another mystery that they're going to have to answer.
I can't snap with my left. Well, maybe I can.
You do know snapping is just the sound of
I know,
your finger hitting
but
the
I
palm.
can't see. I can do it with this hand. I can make it loud. But so if I was forced to try to end the universe with this hand,
well, you do know the sound isn't what does
yes,
it.
it is. That's snapping. Because
No.
if you just go like this, it's not snapping.
It's the intent of it.
No.
Yeah. You're saying that if you
can.
the gauntlets are metal, they don't.
Ting!
They're gonna go clank
But
no
it
matter
went
what
snap.
you do.
Do you notice that?
Yeah.
It went snap.
And it also broke it.
Yeah, I know. But it didn't break the stones.
No, but it broke the gauntlet.
See, that is a bad plan. Like, you know how, like, in Harry Potter, he was like, I'm only going to give it to somebody who wants to get it but not use it. That's a good plan. But the whole, you have to throw your whatever you love into a hole. Well, that assures you that the most psychopathic person possible is going to get this stone. This is a bad plan.
I kind of feel sorry for the Red Skull because they just kind of left him there.
He looked really cool, though.
Yeah, he did. He looked like death.
He was awesome.
Yeah, but it's kind of like... I mean, he didn't... I was expecting him to die
Like to
or
do something?
Or do something else, but he just kind of stood there.
Well, and you know he didn't die because Thanos probably was grateful to him, so...
So it was just kind of like...
Or he respected him because he's a weirdo. And
well,
then...
he teleported away.
Yeah.
So it was like...
No, I mean in the end. Like, he probably didn't dustify him. He just...
They would have shown that, I guess.
Well, I don't think so.
It was like, so...
Was that his voice? Was that Hugo Weaving's voice?
I don't think so.
I was like, is it Hugo Weaving trying to sound old?
No.
Because sometimes I close my eyes
Hugo
and I'm
Weaving would sound like himself, plus he didn't have a German accent. I thought that
he
was
sort
weird.
of did. It was like some sort of accent, but I couldn't tell what it was. Right.
And it's like,
why would it soften?
Don't soften because...
They don't go away, and he wouldn't have been talking to anyone.
And also, yeah, how many people show up to do
and
that?
Say,
I want this.
No, you need to throw your wife into the
And also,
pit.
Also, it seems like obviously nobody did it.
Oh, just a second. Okay.
Yeah, it's obvious that nobody had done it because it was still there.
Right.
So
well,
that
probably
means,
because anybody who was good, who was looking for
that means
it,
that
was
Red Skull had to constantly lead people over there and say, "Here it is."
Well,
and then,
no, you know why? It's because he doesn't have anything that he loves, so he can't throw it in.
Right, that's the problem.
And I believe that. That dude never loved anything except himself.
Does it work if you love yourself and throw yourself over?
No.
Because then you die and then you have the Soul Stone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
They never explained what the Soul Stone does.
Nope, he didn't really use it.
Well, but what's funny is that he couldn't wipe everyone out of existence until he... Oh, I know, that makes sense, actually. Until he had the Mind Stone.
Right.
Because without the Mind Stone...
It wouldn't... His intention
can't reach that far.
Couldn't connect all of them together to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, though, because he didn't wipe them out of existence.
He just...
They died.
Killed them all.
Right.
Which isn't what he had in mind, actually.
No. Because they all do.
Because that's why...
died.
He thought that what would be happening is that it would be as though they were never there.
Right. But they were clearly...
So
they were there.
He didn't quite get what he wanted. And also...
Maybe he thought that was possible, and it really wasn't.
Yeah, because it would require an alteration of time to such a
You would have to
degree.
Erase time from the beginning of time. You'd have to recreate...
You would have to break time.
Yeah, you'd break it, and you can't do that. So it's like you can kill everyone.
The other thing...
But you can't undo their existence.
That is noticeable is that as soon as he did that, they had him teleport to Vision Land and wherever he was.
was so weird.
He doesn't have the gauntlet anymore.
No, I know.
He doesn't have the stones either.
They fell off.
They fell off?
No, I thought he dragged it with him.
When?
He dragged it with him. When he went through the hole. But then when he woke up, it was all gone.
It was all gone.
So it must have disintegrated.
And then he didn't have the stones either when he was...
They must have been scattered somewhere in
So that's what I'm saying. That is their only shot.
They've got to get
him. They have to find...
You could spend your whole freaking life searching a galaxy to find them.
Yeah, and that's...
Especially when you don't have Doctor Strange.
You don't have Doctor Strange, so you can't really jump.
What about what's-his-face?
Stormbreaker can summon the Bifrost.
That's true.
Ha!
Yeah, but
there you go.
If you know where you're going.
That's the only way they said... That's the only reason they said that.
What's Han or whatever his name? Or what's his name? The guy with the mustache. The Asian guy. Wong! Where is he?
He's still at the Sanctum in
there! See, he knows how to do it.
Yep.
He's got the books.
Plus, he's got the mappy thing he's to see where things are.
Okay, so we're gonna need him.
You're gonna need Wong and... Thor. Again, that is literally the only reason they said that. Was because he can summon the Bifrost with Stormbreaker.
Well, and no, he did it.
Yeah.
He went out of nowhere.
Well, and so I'm just saying that's the only reason they gave... That's also the reason they gave him that power, is so that they can jump to other realms.
Speaking of which, I have been so annoyed at how sissified they have made Thor since the first one. Like, so the first one, he, like, made a tornado and, like, did all really cool stuff. After that, somehow he sends a shaft of lightning into Tony Stark, and he's like, ooh, it charged me up. Yeah, right. He would have been cooked like toast.
Yep, and so with this one, with a single swing of Stormbreaker, he annihilated an entire spaceship.
Finally, it was Thor. Like, finally, I got to see what freaking Thor, was supposed to look like all along.
He finally looked
what I always thought he would look like.
He finally looked like he's, like, flying through the air and summoning lightning and stuff. He finally looked like the posters.
Yeah, like what they were always, like, what they always thought he would look.
Well, I mean, just if you see on the posters for the movies, you have the lightning flying around as you're flying through the air, and he finally actually looked like that, and the lightning behaved properly.
Right.
Yeah.
And also...
And it was lightning, not electrical zaps.
Yeah. And, okay, so Loki has, clearly, this space between spaces, this invisible closet, that he can put anything in. He can carry around a soul stone.
Well, the space stone.
The space stone, whatever that is. He can carry around an infinity stone.
Why didn't he sneak up next to Thor and teleport them away with the space stone? He did it before. It just hurt a lot.
Well, the point I was getting
Why did freaking Heimdall waste his chance teleporting the Hulk away instead of the King?
The King.
Good grief. Aim it up a little higher. I mean, seriously.
The King and his brother.
King. At minimum.
Or the Broccoli Man.
Yeah.
I would leave the Broccoli Man there to fight some more. Like, wake up.
Yes.
Get up, fight. And
Heimdall, to the end, is a backstabbing jerk.
He's bad.
He
sucks at his job.
His sole function is to betray...
Protect
his sole function is to betray everyone.
To go against everybody's...
Thor 1 opened with him betraying Odin and letting them go to Jotunheim. Thor... The
same Thor... Loki says nobody leaves. And
he betrayed the king. He betrayed the king again.
And then he tried to whack Loki's head off.
Right. Thor 2, he turned himself in for betraying Odin and letting them leave.
Right. He's not a good listener.
I don't know if he betrayed anyone in Ragnarok, but if he didn't, then he's breaking his pattern.
I don't know if he was really in it.
Yeah,
very much.
They ran through a forest and then ran into him. I don't know. Hela was after his sword so that she could control the Bifrost.
He probably gave it to her.
No.
Probably did something like that.
He had it next to him right there in the spaceship. That's why he summoned them.
Well, but they kicked her butt, so
that is something that I was wondering. Is the Bifrost the sword or is it the device?
It's the device.
Apparently not.
What do you mean?
Because he summoned the Bifrost sideways through the spaceship.
With the thing.
With his sword.
Right.
And Stormbreaker can teleport you anywhere.
Right.
Because normally, with the Bifrost, you would have to go to Asgard and then from Asgard to his planet.
It's a Stargate. It's a Stargate.
It's a Stargate.
It's a portable Stargate.
It's a rainbow Stargate that goes up.
So as long as you dial in where you want to go, it'll take you.
So what
there.
I'm saying is, before, the rules were that the Bifrost can take you from Asgard to a planet, back to Asgard, and then to another planet. And now the rules are you can go to whatever planet you want as long as you have a thingy.
Right. That's a portable one.
But Heimdall's sword could do that
right.
by itself without a Bifrost. Without the actual device.
Without the gate thingy. But that's for, like, normal folks who don't have a... You know, so, like, normal Asgardians who want to travel...
I'm calling convenience.
We changed the rules.
A convenience
we changed the rules right now.
But, yeah, anyway, I thought that for whoever wrote this script, I think it was the Russo brothers... That what I would say, that's the directors.
Yes, I know.
But
I don't know who wrote the script.
They like, compared to the Justice League, they just knocked this out of the park.
I still don't like it.
But I actually did, because one thing I
I'm
knew.
not saying it's bad.
I knew it was going to be a tragedy, and see, for me, especially for this kind of movie, because it's part of a series, I know that tragedies aren't the end of the story. And because it's such a catastrophic loss, it's like, well, this is too much of a loss.
Well, okay, but
here's
my thing. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
If Thor goes back in time and gets all these other people back, but not Loki,
that won't make any sense.
Right. But I will be really mad. But he's not signed on.
That we know of.
Oh, you know he's not.
They could change our mind. They're still filming. See, if you think about it, if you were Tom, would you let them screw you around anymore? For that, I might. Because
I have to sign a contract. Be like, okay, no more killing. I don't get to die anymore.
Well, yeah, and what I would say is, and
I would like to retire now.
This is it. But see, there's a whole bunch of people after Avengers 4 who are saying this is it. Like, they are going to be officially retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's
retired, not dead.
Right, and so what I'd say is, what would be the greatest revenge against Thanos than to be confronted with literally an army of the former dead? Because I mean, that's the best. That would be the best.
I don't want him to fight anymore.
But if you think about it,
he'll kill him again.
Nope.
Why not?
I don't know. Do a Jesus thing. It's like them. But see, like, he doesn't.
What do you mean a Jesus thing?
He doesn't have. They would have by logic's sake. They would have the Infinity Stones at that point.
That would be so scary.
What?
I mean, like, trying to decide out of all those people
who gets it.
Yeah. Who can use that thing, and what are they going to do with it?
No, they'd split them up.
No. Like, how are they going to fix?
You know why? Well, it's somebody. They'll have to get the time stone, go back in time.
It's just going to have to be one person.
Bring everybody back.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Is it wouldn't make logical sense. It's like, okay, we make this whole movie where one after the other main characters die. Now we shall bring all of them back except for the first one.
First two.
Who is the second person?
Heimdall.
Yeah. Well, that's because he's a twit and doesn't want to be in it.
But see, if
he's not a main person.
He died before Loki.
Okay.
And Thor called him his best friend, which is weird. Since when?
I don't know. But what I'm saying is, see, I don't know if he's signed on. See, that would be the thing. Look it up and see if he's still signed on.
Well, he really thinks he thinks it's stupid.
If he is, then yeah, that it would make so.
Wait a second. Okay, so what?
Yeah. So if he's signed on, then having it just story-wise, if you're going to bring people back, you have to bring everybody who died back. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't rebalance the table.
Well, obviously, also, like, of all the people that Thor would want back alive. Yes.
In fact, he'd bring back all of Asgard.
Yeah, he would undo all of Ragnarok.
Yes.
And in fact, he would undo all of Thor too, and bring his mom back to life.
It depends on how much they can individually do.
But if it was his choice,
right,
and he could go like this,
I don't think you can do it like that.
Why not?
I think with Time Stone, it'll have to be Doctor Strange who uses it. Because you have to know how to do the thing.
But if he had them all.
But I don't think that'd be good.
And the dwarfy guy
I'm talking about story-wise.
Yeah.
Not good.
So you want Doctor Strange to just take the thing and dial it back.
What I'm saying is
But he's dead.
I think... See, that's going to be the problem. Somebody is going to try to... I figured it out. Somebody is going to try to use the Time Stone and do a DuckTales.
What?
Go back way too far. That's why they saw them filming Avengers. They filmed Avengers 4. They were filming in the same location and outfits as Avengers 1. Because what happened is somebody went, I don't know how to use this thing, and they spun the clock backwards and went way back to that.
That reminds me of that.
And then they'll go, well, crap.
That Harry Potter thing where, like, the time turner and went all the way back.
They took the time turner and went... That's
all the way back to, like, when Tom Riddle was little.
Yes.
And it's like, Vatigadavra, you're dead, and that's it.
But I'm saying that's exactly what happened with that. And so, by doing that, that's going to change everything. That
undoes Loki's... Ugh.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Because if you take him back to Avengers, he's insane.
All they have to do is point the Time Stone at him and he becomes present.
But dead. With his neck snapped.
Nuh-uh. Because, like Wong, he was smashed and impaled under rocks and then he went, whoop, present day, and you're
but he doesn't remember.
Yeah, he does.
He was saved from that. It rewound that.
I don't know
he doesn't remember being crushed.
How it would work.
So, like, Loki wouldn't remember losing his mom, saving Thor again. He wouldn't... That was the little message. That was Megan. Hi, Megan! I'll talk to you later! Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't... All that character development! That little bits that were able to happen.
Maybe then they could finally fix what Joss Whedon put in there with the whole eyes changing color, mind control, blah. They could finally address it and show that he was being manipulated.
And then Thor would have to take him to a pub and tell him a really, really, really long story. Like a really long story.
Yeah, because, I mean, seriously.
Like, no one else gets to talk. I'm telling a story.
It would make sense. I mean, it's not something that Loki's going to be like, I don't believe you because your hair is chopped off.
And your eye
is missing.
He can, like, literally pop it out.
And Mjolnir has been destroyed and you're
it's
holding
replaced by an axe.
Stormbreaker and, yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's messed up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he would believe him. But it would be a really long story.
Actually, no, it's not. What? The set photos show them wearing the same costume.
No!
Everything is reversed. So, he has Mjolnir at that point.
That means he won't remember either.
Yeah, he will.
Why?
Otherwise, it would be pointless.
I know.
Why go back in time?
That's what I'm scared of.
Nah.
Because then you'll just do it all again.
Yeah, that's the problem. So, that's why I'm saying they'll get shifted way back in time on accident.
But why would their bodies change?
Because it's themselves going back in time.
I like the axe better.
It's Days of Future Past. Maybe it's a little jumpy, and then they can jump back forward again and see what happens.
What?
They say, here we change this little thing and go zip forward, and what's that like?
No, that's like what happened with Logan.
Yeah.
And then he has like bones instead. And everybody's alive.
Days of Future Past.
Yes, I know. But he missed all that time.
Yeah.
He has no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
That whole time he had no idea.
But anyway, I thought that as far as the script, they did a fantastic job dealing with how many characters was that.
Yeah.
It's like Marvel can handle telling a story with probably, I think it's 18 characters.
I thought it was like 24.
I'm just counting like major players. And the way that you do it...
You have to split them up into different places.
Well, yeah, and then you do the famous George Lucas triple climax. But then... the way that you do it is like the cartoons. They figured it out. It's... nobody is more important than the other. It's just you just jump from group to group, and everybody is doing their piece of the plot, and then it all comes together in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so easy. And so it's like Justice League, Warner Brothers couldn't handle 6 people. 6 people and one cruddy CGI person with an army of bats.
They didn't develop them in the first place.
Right, so
in
that's
their
the problem.
individual movies.
That's the problem.
They didn't
you can't introduce...
They were just throwing... except for Wonder Woman.
You can't introduce half of your team.
She's dumb anyway.
Well...
She is dumb. She's a bad strategist.
Yeah. Well, you can't introduce half of your team in your team up and then expect people to think that's awesome, because the whole
we don't even know them.
The whole point of the cool part of the team up is to already know them beforehand and then watch them team up.
Right.
So, yeah, that's why that didn't work, and that's why this did work, is because
10 years of build up.
And you're not... It's like you don't go into this expecting to learn a myriad of things about a particular character.
No.
You expect to learn a few things about each person.
Well, actually, what this is like...
It's like a TV show. It's like a series
finale.
finale.
What this movie is the opportunity to watch everyone die. Like, it's to give everyone a death scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some that never do have a death scenes, like in the comics.
Yeah,
you know, they just
blam.
Stopped doing them, or they do, whatever.
Or
they're still going
and die.
They're still going, but and nobody cares because people aren't reading the comics by now. It's like gone on for 50 years, and we're like, yeah, whatever. Or like they handed off the mantle, like Tony Stark did. He gave it to somebody else, so it's like you're not Iron Man anymore. But this was like, I wonder what Doctor Strange's death scene would look like, and I wonder what Spider-Man would do if he was dying, and I wonder if everybody gets to try that out.
Of them, I thought Spider-Man's was the most heartfelt.
Well, and it also shows that if you don't want to die, if you're resisting it, it goes slower.
Right. Which is
like if you know what was going to happen. Well, and it shows that like he's stronger than everybody thinks.
Right. And
because he was fighting the Titan, snapping his fingers.
Right.
He was not coming undone. So that was kind of cool.
Right. And I thought
and he's not going to stay dead, so it's not that sad.
Of course not.
You know he's not going to die.
See, so that's the other thing, is you watch this from the perspective of, okay, they just killed half of the universe.
Well, there were people that I was not sad about because I knew that they're not going to stay dead.
Well,
I was sad about Gamora because that was just horrible. Like, that was horrible. What, like, anybody having to go through this. But people like Doctor Strange and the rest of the Guardians, it's like, well, we know they're not going to be dead. But the people like Loki, that is way up in the air. We don't know. And the way that he died was very gruesome. Like, I think that was probably the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was really bad. Like him kicking around, and I mean, that looked real. That looked real. Some of the other stuff didn't look real, as real, but that looked real. That looked like what you would look like if you were strangling, and then your eyes, like blood vessels in your eyes are breaking, and then your neck snaps. I mean, like, you could literally see it go limp, which
mm-hmm.
was like gross and horrible.
Yeah. I think what this does is it sets it up so that all the deaths, instead, they make you go, well, how are they going to get out of this?
Well,
That's basically because it's like
it's too many.
It's too many, and so you go, well, they have to reverse.
But it's like,
now.
How far do you reverse it? See, that's what I'm worried about. It's like, how far are you going to go back? Because we know we have to get the Guardians back. We know we have to get Doctor Strange back.
It's basically everybody.
We don't know if we have to get Bucky back.
Yes.
Because he's signed on for more.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, is that you look at is like, who has extended contracts, and so
so we know who's going to show up later.
And it also makes you go, it's like, did Marvel fudge a little bit
with what?
Well, it's like, yeah, we called it like
like not calling it part 1. Of course it is.
Well, no. So what that means is they call it part 1. And film both movies simultaneously as one movie, so then technically it's one movie. Mm-hmm. From a legal standpoint. So then people could pop up
and fulfill their contract.
And so then Tom Hiddleston could be in the second part, which is no longer the second part because they retitled it as Avengers 4 and they won't even tell us what the name of it is.
That's a thought.
Yeah. So it's like, is The Hobbit 3 movies or 1? Did they make them sign an individual contract before each movie?
No.
No, because they were able to take their two movies, because they filmed it as 2 movies and then split it into 3 later. They didn't have to say, hey, I was in 2 movies.
Right.
You gotta pay my fee again if you're gonna split it into a 3rd movie.
Right.
It's like, no, that'd be ridiculous.
Right.
So I wonder if they might have done that. That's a funny little maneuver that they could do to have this be a single movie instead of 2 movies.
Mm-hmm. But here's my thing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna blow somebody's head off.
Yeah.
If
they resurrect everyone and not Loki.
Well, that would be one thing.
Yeah.
But if they bring Loki back and if anybody says something, I am.
What do you mean?
Any of those Avengers says something snotty, Thor had better punch him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you have no idea how my brother had gone out twice
Mm-hmm.
for me, so shut up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and no matter what happens, what he was doing was like killing a few flies compared to Thanos.
Right. Yeah.
That was nothing.
Right.
And it wasn't even as bad as what Red Skull was doing.
Right.
So, and he was like being controlled. He was being mind controlled by Thanos. So chill. You know, so chill.
Mm-hmm.
And then he should get to fight and be awesome and not get kicked his butt around by like girls like Valkyrie and by Thanos. Because what I was saying before was the best thing he had was a stupid knife.
You know, that's another thing that makes me wonder.
He didn't have like a bomb in
Valkyrie didn't die at the end of Ragnarok.
She went off on one of the ships, didn't she? I don't know. I didn't see it.
Well, but so then we're just implying that she's just among the dead?
I hope so.
But so that's just interesting that they didn't even show her.
Nope, she's not in it.
So that was
Well,
weird.
where was Sif?
On a secret mission.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
We just forgot she existed.
Right.
She's only, I don't know, Thor's wife. In the
This
comics.
whole time?
No. That would be funny. No wonder she's mad.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't know we were allowed to have multiple, I don't know.
Yeah.
Women. We don't have harems here. Okay, anyway. Are we done now?
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a headache. It's late. It's like 11:32 at night. And we're still talking.
It's 11:12.
Oh, it's 11:12. See, I can't see.
Numbers.
I can't see out of
11
this
and
eye. I've got a Thor. My mechanical eye is not working.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we're done.
Yep.
Oh, did I introduce? This is my brother Michael. I didn't introduce him at the beginning. I was just like, yeah, we're gonna talk about this. Sorry.
Yep.
Anyway, maybe we'll do more of these. This is really long. Okay. We'll do more. I'll put the link to my Patreon page. I'm a writer. And I'll put it underneath. And
Brilliance Films.
Brilliance Films is what my brother's in charge of.
Yeah.
We made a feature-length film. And so we'll put a link to that too. Because you have a channel, don't you?
Yeah.
Brilliance Film channel.
Yeah, but that's...
That's how we get to be qualified to talk about movies.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.